Vehicles are designed to operate within a certain set of weight carrying capacities, and it's much easier to overload our overlanders than what we think. But how do we even know how much weight is too much, and if it is too much, what exactly is that going to do to our vehicles or even to us? Well, my friends, that's exactly what we're going to find out today. Before we even begin getting into the negative effects of overloading our rigs, we'll want to find out if we even are, or how to know if we are. That all starts with understanding the terminology of our vehicles, different load ratings and weight carrying capacities, and even more importantly, how to calculate the formula that gives us the answer to if we're overloaded or not. First, we'll need the gross vehicle weight rating, and is the maximum allowed weight that we're allowed to have in or on our vehicles, including the weight of the trailer tongue if we are pulling a trailer. Now, the GVWR is not to be mistaken for the vehicle's curb weight. The listed payload capacities are not added on top of the GVWR either, but instead are included in it. Curb weight is the actual weight of the vehicle, plus fuel and any additional standard features that the vehicle comes with from the factory. The curb weight does not include the weight of your passengers, gear, or additional modifications and accessories that you may have added onto the vehicle, or even the tongue weight of the trailer that you tow. All of those additional items are referred to as your payload. For that number, plus the curb weight, we're going to have to weigh the vehicle loaded as if you had all of your possessions in there that you take with you on a trip, including the family dog or dogs. And don't forget the full tank of fuel, your freshwater containment system is full, your spare fuel containers are full, and anything else you would have with you on a trip. Obviously, it would be the most effective and efficient to hit the scales after you're all loaded up to go on an actual trip before you actually get to your destination. For all of us that have never been through or on a scale before, it's actually quite simple. The best way that I found is to use a cat scale. And yes, you heard me correctly, but I'm obviously not talking about a scale that measures the weight of our kitty cats. I'm actually referring to the large yellow Caterpillar trucking scales that you can find at a majority of your average truck stop fueling stations. They're super easy to use because they have an app where you can pre-register all of our personal information first before we even leave the house. This way, once we find a cat scale, all we need to do is open the app, enter in the registered number of that scale that we're located at, drive up on the scale, just make sure your front tires are on the furthest up weigh pad, your rear tires are in the middle, are on the middle weigh pad, and the trailer tires, if you're towing one, is on the last weigh pad. Then get your vehicle's total weight, plus you can see the weight on each individual axle, and you'll know exactly what your vehicle weighs, plus the trailer, but minus the tongue weight, of course. The tongue weight of the trailer will be included with the weight on your rear axle. That's on the middle or the second weigh pad. And with the app, we don't even have to go inside the weigh station unless you want a paper receipt. Well, then obviously you have to go inside to retrieve that. But otherwise, all in all, it's pretty simple. Now, it's simple, but it's not free, and there will be a small fee for using the scale, but in my opinion, definitely well worth it in order to potentially save lives by not being overloaded. And vehicles having a mandated gross vehicle weight rating falls under a huge safety umbrella of DOT regulations that automotive manufacturers have to abide by in order to stay in compliance with federal laws and regulations, and should always be printed on the sticker label that's on the driver's side door frame. If not there, then check in the capacity section in the owner's manual. The owner's manual should also list your payload capacity, but like I just mentioned earlier, we really need our GVWR and the weight of our vehicle, including all of our stuff, and the tongue weight of the trailer if we pull one. And from there, we just want to make sure that we're not exceeding that gross vehicle weight rating or GVWR. Another important safety factor is to verify that your tires are rated to the GVWR or above that and don't fall short of your vehicle's weight carrying capacity. Of which the best way to learn about the different load carrying capacities is to check out the video we did on that by clicking the link we'll have posted in the description below. So then, now that we know our weight carrying thresholds, by knowing what our max carrying capacity is with knowing our vehicle's GVWR, what would happen if we exceed our vehicle's max weight carrying capacities? Well, for one, you're not only driving your vehicle illegally, but you're doing it at the risk of endangering your life, your passengers' lives, and other people's lives that are out on the road with you. Our four-wheel drive vehicle may be able to drive down the road just fine even with being overloaded, but where it becomes a pretty serious problem is in emergency situations and mechanical failures. Let's say you need to perform an emergency stop by slamming on the brakes. Well, science is going to take over, and the energy that's been created by mass and momentum isn't going to allow you to stop within that short distance you may need to stop in order to prevent a life-altering catastrophic situation. The additional weight will also negatively affect your vehicle's handling dynamics when faced with having to perform an emergency evasive maneuver. Your vehicle, especially if it's lifted, is definitely not going to handle the way it was engineered to handle from the factory. You start cranking that steering wheel too fast or too hard, and again, you're probably going to be facing another life-altering catastrophic situation. We're also taking a major risk with carrying too much weight and putting too much stress on our vehicle's suspension and driveline components. Things like, and have happened, shearing off the wheel studs, and your wheel and tire goes flying off in a different direction than what it's supposed to and could end up becoming a violent and deadly weapon of force. Or the hub that holds the wheel on burns up and the entire assembly comes flying off. And guys, if it becomes a worst case scenario where the loose wheel and tire causes a fatality and investigators find out you're overloaded in your vehicle and that's what led up to being the cause of the failure, then legally you will be held responsible for that due to poor negligence, and who knows what the legal repercussions will be from there. Not to mention the guilt that will last the rest of your life. Obviously that is a worst case scenario, and hopefully to God it never happens, but don't even take the risk and just make sure you always know how much weight you're carrying and that amount is within the safety parameters of your own particular vehicle, and then you won't even have to worry about it. I mean, you always have to worry about it, but at least you're reducing that chance or risk of it happening. And guys, if the tires that you are currently running are not within those load carrying capacity ratings, well, then make sure and head over to our website at TrailBuilt Offroad for a new set that are rated well above for what you actually need, and we'll have that link posted in the description as well. All right, guys, well, hopefully this video has helped you out in one way or another. And if you have had any experience with being overloaded and something happened, or even if you have any suggestions as to how to not be overloaded, well, definitely make sure and let us know in the comments below. And guys, as always, we appreciate all of you for watching and all of your support. I'm Josh from TrailBuilt, and we'll see you guys safely out on the trails.